Ladies and gentlemen, every single month, whether it be rain, sunshine, or plague, I do a fundraiser to keep THORnews up and running. If you would like to contribute, I get a snail mail, a PayPal, a Venmo, a Cash App, a Patron, or you can do the live chat if you want to when I'll be on later tonight. And I have been covering the coronavirus like a super pro since January 30th, telling everyone you should treat this like it was a weaponized plague that's trying to kill you and your family. So please take care of yourself and your family first. But if you got anything left over to appreciate me, I would appreciate it. And with that, let's get to the news. This is far and away the most interesting chart that I have seen in the last week or two. March 28th, Angela Rasmussen. This graph has been making the rounds today on the effect of masks at reducing the coronavirus transmission. Because there's a lot of information out there. Everybody's got an opinion these days. Everybody's an expert. So I just do what I can to bring you the best information. And it was weird to me when they said that you don't need masks when it appears that masks make a big deal in the transmission. And I do think that it is airborne, although there's still a lot of debate about that. I mean, there's still debate on how long does it last on surfaces, how long does it last in carriers. You know, this is so far we're 9 weeks in now, and this has definitely been the least fun event I've known of. And, for now, it seems like most of the information is pretty bad, considering pre-2020. But, I don't know. Anytime I leave the house and have to go do something, I wrap a t-shirt around my face and wear gloves. And so I've been recommending everybody take this seriously, like life and death, since January 30th. My stance has not changed. This does seem like a plague, like the one that came around in the 1300s or 1666 or 1918. When humanity gets way off course, we get a plague to course correct us. And so, as I've been saying, this would hit the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor. This would basically hit everybody. And it has so far. And we will probably continue to see the numbers increase for another week or two. Also, I've said definitely do not trust China's numbers. And I still believe that. And now, the United States of America is in the first position for doing the worst as far as most infections. And we are watching those numbers increase daily. And you know what? I've never cared less about politics more than I do now. I definitely think politics is like the stupidest thing ever. Okay. But yeah, we've got 857,000 confirmed cases of infections, with U.S. getting hit really hard. Italy, Spain. Like I said, you can't. China's numbers are pretty much stopped, which I don't believe at all. But we're continuing to watch this, not only the infections, but the deaths increase. And so you've got 42,000 deaths total with an asterisk. That's why I don't know. I try not to be a jerk, but dude, there's really no reason to trust the government or numbers or whatever they're telling you, because cover your own ass is like what they always do. And that they've always been prone to just getting elected. That's like the only thing they've been trained to do. And that now we are in a pandemic, a plague, that we're finding out that politicians really just don't have a lot of overt value. Although I wish harm on no one, I'm just saying, yeah, man, I don't know. I have super no faith in politicians. And the numbers continue to increase exponentially. Hopefully they will start going down in a week or two. But when you have a case like the United States, where you have a federal oversight and then 50 different states with 50 different attitudes, it's been a bit of a snafu bar clusterfunk. New York has been getting hit the hardest, easily. And we will watch their numbers increase scarily, along with everyone else. And we're still trying to find if we can get some type of a association between heat and cold and infections, although it's not there yet. But I know Texas is 12th in infections, and like right now, Colorado has more deaths than Texas, even though they have 1/6 the population. And so, I mean, it's a pretty scary situation that we're all dealing with. And as I've been saying all throughout 2019, and that like at the end of 2020, the world is going to look nothing like it did before. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, as I have been, but like, I don't know when pro sports are coming back, man. I don't know when like movies are coming back, like on the set. Like, I am hoping this vanishes in July, like Nostradamus said, though we can't put all of our eggs in that basket. It's just kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel to focus on. But I definitely think going from a solar minimum to a solar maximum may help. Having a hot summer may help. And miracles will help. So definitely prayer. My prayer is up through March like 700%. So I am a firm believer in prayer, Jesus Christ, and God. So anything helps these days, but definitely be smart because, I don't know. This thing has been so mishandled since it broke out in Wuhan, China. And a lot of times, like now, you just have propaganda fighting between where it's like, hey, man, we're all in this together and we don't want to lose people we love. And I don't want to lose anyone as Planetary Defense Commander. New York is getting hit the hardest. And, I think it's definitely having people stacked on top of people is a big problem. And then I have a feeling elevators, because they're like little confined spaces that go up and down. And then those buttons that people hit, I don't know. I would definitely be washing the elevator board every time you could, and avoid the elevator. Maybe take the stairs, although I'm sure there are a lot of flights to go up. And as irony would have it, the first quarter, specialty quarter of the year, is for the national parks and the bat. Although I think the bat is more of a metaphor, because I've been saying I would treat this like it's a bioweapon that got out of the lab with a little bit of particle colliding enhancement, and it just hates human beings like it's Cthulhu straight out of hell. April Fool is canceled, son. And also, like, it's weird to watch the politicians do what they can to save the corporations, but I got to be honest with you, because it's what I do. A lot of these corporations are never coming back, bro. So it's best to take care of the people first. Make sure the people are fed and the lights are on, the water is clean. I would definitely offer hazard pay to the essential services, whether it be janitors, doctors, nurses, stockers, grocery people, cashiers. I would even be offering bonuses. These are, desperate times call for desperate measures. And it's the people who don't have essential services. It's their job to stay home and to stay safe, to flatten the curve. And it is our job to protect the people who are keeping our civilization up and running. Here's a pretty important but disgusting diagram of a person coughing at another person. And, I don't know. I know someone who the other day was like making fun of the people who were scared of this stuff, but this is all very real. And, that you want to be avoiding any type of transmission, whether it be in the water droplets or in the aerosols, or it's just best to stay safe, man, because this is dangerous. Because we had an 8-week lag on preparing for this thing, we had 8 weeks to prepare for this, man. I don't, everyone has their own opinion, but I know for a fact we had 8 weeks to prepare for this, and it was squandered. But now hospitals tell doctors they'll be fired if they speak out against the lack of gear, because now states are fighting over who can get gear, whether it be ventilators, masks, or the basic clothes you wear to keep you protected. Goggles. Fauci says you're starting to see young people in the 30s and 40s getting seriously ill. We just had the first death of someone under the age of 18 in New York City. So, as I've also been trying to warn, is that they lied about it only affecting people 65 and older. This thing affects everybody, and it turns your mucus into a paste you can't breathe through. And so even if only 1 to 2% of people this is fatal for, it will still do a lot of lung damage to anywhere from 10 to 15% of the people. And then in a scary situation, you have our military and the Navy and people on ships. They are ending up being like cruise ships where you're getting 200 sailors testing positive on the Theodore Roosevelt. And that's just a scary situation where, how do I put this? That history has always shown that for politicians, kings, and emperors, it's not really the voters that matter at the end of the day. I mean, it does, but I'm saying that you got to keep the faith of your military, and the military has to believe you're doing a good job. And so when one of the generals wrote, keeping over 4,000 young men and women on board the Theodore Roosevelt is an unnecessary risk, and breaks faith with those sailors entrusted to our care. And so, it is definitely best to do what you can to make sure that all of the soldiers are well taken care of, because they're the ones on the wall making sure that we are safe and keeping civilization standing. And a lot of them are doing what they can to support the medical services. And so, it's a bad scene all around. And I highly recommend, going for a walk every day. I had heat stroke like 3 or 4 days ago, which I finally recovered from, because I tried to do too much and had been out of shape because I didn't really move much for the last 2 months while I was trying to stay safe and keep everybody informed. Anywho, but I definitely recommend you can still go out and get exercise. This isn't you don't have people stand outside your house or apartment with machine guns. It's, as long as you maintain social distancing, although I would try and get 15 feet. I know they say 6 feet, but I don't really trust that. I saw a report where someone got sick from 14.5 feet away. So I recommend 15 feet, and that I think this will definitely last until at least July, and it may even go past that. As Fauci has mentioned, we're just in the first wave or cycle of this thing. The second cycle hasn't even started. But no matter what, we are seeing that who the real heroes are in our world that keep it up and running. And so all thanks to all the janitors, the hospitals, the doctors, the nurses. Y'all are utterly fantastic and are heroes. And I know a lot of people are volunteering to help out in any way they can. And as I've been reporting from the Army DOD briefing, that they would be turning a lot of places into makeshift hospitals. Greg Abbott here talking about how they're expanding healthcare capabilities across the state to ensure all healthcare needs will be met in the event of a surge of COVID patients. And so Dallas Convention Center will get its first pop-up hospital for the coronavirus. And this is happening in pretty much every single state, as far as I know. And it was like the Jerry Falwell school, I don't know, was like, it's a hoax. And I'm still mind blown at all the people who said this was a hoax or this was just the flu. You guys were totally flat out wrong. And a lot of people probably die or be injured because of it. But I know Jerry Falwell was like, I'm making all my people, or whatever, the Liberty College was like, we're making everybody go back to college. We don't believe in this. And then a lot of them turned up positive for the coronavirus. So, yeah, this is not, politics is gone, man. Like we're in a new world now. And so the old normals never come back. It'll be a long time before pro sports come back, if ever, in the same iteration. And I don't know, though. So I have Sauron over New York is not exactly the most comforting thing. It's there to let you know that we're in an emergency crisis pandemic, which is real. And I still say it's 90% chance it's an uncontrolled event. So, I mean, everybody, like I said, you're allowed to have your own opinion, but it's a pretty scary situation. I still have faith that we will make it through. I think we have to be smart. We have to be cool. And we have to figure out how to deal with the fact that this plague has exposed all of the flaws in capitalism, communism, and socialism. Everybody's been debating about which ism was great, and apparently we need a whole new system, man. And I know that scares people to improve everything, but that's the way it's got to be. And remember, I've been saying that for the last few years. And so, God bless you. God bless your family. May Jesus Christ keep us all safe. May we all find new meaning and adapt to this situation, which is real and ongoing. And we are going to lose quite a few lives. I know today the President of the United States said anywhere between 100,000 to 240,000. I think we could see as many as 1 million in the United States lose their lives. A weird way to put it is if 1 out of every 377 people died, that would be 1 million people. And so we're definitely going to see a lot of loss of lives, and we're definitely going to see a new normal eventually. The things are changing so fast and so rapidly, it's hard to keep up at times. And so I'm a little behind because I wore myself out and had to rest for 2 or 3 days. But know that I'm here with you. I love you guys. I want everyone to pull through. Prayers to all the souls that are crossing over. And I don't know if I'm going to survive 2020. I don't know if you're going to survive 2020. So it is best to make the best of this situation. And I know a lot of people are going stir crazy. But, like people in Wuhan did this for a couple months. So we're in like our first 2 weeks of this. And so you'll find out you're stronger than you believed you were. And we are all in this together. And that we're going to have, all the old systems are coming crumbling down. And we're going to have to rebuild and adapt together. And so I have faith. But either way, even if I go, I did my best to be cool, to be awesome, to be kind, to be funny, to inspire. And hopefully you can do the same, because the old days are going away as this is going to hit the rich hard as well as the poor. And that even during this power vacuum, you have people trying to jockey for position where we should really all be working together to create the best system for all people. That's my opinion. You don't have to believe it. But I love y'all. Everybody stay cool. And I will be giving you guys updates now that I'm all healed up and rip roaring and ready to go. God bless everyone. May the force be with us always. Let us live long and prosper together.